I'm a huge fan of soup, and not only in the winter. When it's too hot to cook, there's almost nothing more refreshing than a veggie-packed bowl of cold soup. And of all the different chilled soups out there, I have to say, I think gazpacho is king. Mine starts with 1.5 pounds of tomatoes. The tomatoes need to be blanched and peeled, so I cut a shallow X in the bottom of each one and then drop them into boiling water. They only need to simmer for about 30 seconds, then transfer them to a bowl of ice water to cool down. After this blanching process, the tomatoes should peel very easily. Peel them and then cut them into quarters. I strain out the seeds by scraping them into a sieve and using a spoon to press the juice into the blender. Then I add the quartered tomatoes. I make so many different varieties of chilled soup in the summer. Vichyssoise, cold carrot soup, cucumber and yogurt soup, but out of all of them, I really think that this gazpacho is my favorite. And that's not only because the leftovers make a killer Bloody Mary. After the tomatoes, I roughly chop half a bell pepper and add that in. The nice thing about this soup is that it's made entirely in the blender, so really, it's no effort at all. Then comes the jalapeno. Be sure to remove all of the ribs and seeds before you chop it. Whenever I'm working with spicy peppers, I like to taste them before adding it. This one is really spicy, so I'm only going to add half. For another slightly spicy element, I add 2 cloves of garlic. If your garlic has sprouted, like this has, just pull out the green sprouts. They can be a bit bitter, but the rest of the garlic is perfectly fine to eat. Next, I add a little chopped red onion. This really depends on your taste. I usually add between 1/2 and 1/4 of the onion. And finally, I'm going to pour in a 5.5 ounce can of tomato juice. Oops, I almost forgot the cucumber. This is the English variety, and I add about half, just roughly chopped. Blend the soup by just pulsing a couple of times until it all starts to come together. To that, I add 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil, 2 tablespoons of balsamic vinegar, about a teaspoon or so of salt, and half a teaspoon of fresh ground black pepper. Give it a mix again, and then taste for seasoning. I think this tastes good. Cover the soup and place it in the refrigerator for at least an hour. You want the flavors to really come together and marry. Meanwhile, while the soup is chilling, I have a very weedy patch in the back garden where wild oregano grows. I'm going to cut some to use in the soup. When you're ready to serve, give the soup one last blend to be sure it's well mixed, and then just pour into your serving bowls. I absolutely love feta cheese, and with the acidity of the tomatoes, I think it's the perfect creamy, sort of salty bite. I crumble a little over the top of the soup and then garnish with the oregano I just cut from the garden. And a little bite for me, because it's just so good. Finish it with a drizzle of olive oil, and that's it. It's fresh, it's spicy, with that salty, cheesy bite, perfect for when it's way too hot to cook. Thanks for watching. I hope you all are having a safe and delicious summer.